Anyway, I was going to give you details about the Teuchtastic event, and it's running right up till Saturday, that's tomorrow, and today they have a play bus at that event at the Teuch Community Centre, a play bus. It's quite a large bus, with 2 levels, and it's a place for the kids to go on it and play. And a floral demonstration is going to be taking place as well. Now, the play bus is for the under 5s, adults please note, under 5s, and the floral demonstration is taking place right now. If you get yourself right down there right now, they have a jewellery display. Mr. Puffin's going to be there. Now, Mr. Puffin's on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Radio West Fife. Have a look at the photograph. He puffs out all the balloons and makes all these shapes of the balloons and stuff. And I was chatting to him, and he's made it into a career, and I think he learned his trade when he was in the army or the navy or something, and he came out of the navy and just started doing this. Now, Kenny the Clown is going to be there. There's going to be a cars display. There's going to be felting art and a metamorphosis. I don't know what that is. And at 7 o'clock at Teuch Community Centre at Teuchtastic, there's going to be a disco, a free disco. Get yourself along there. I was there on Wednesday at the opening ceremony with Jim Leishman, and we interviewed him live. We're going to try and get that interview live later on in the week. But I would love to get on that play bus and play hard. Yes, the summer of 69, and a special guest in the studio today will be Mr. Porter from Teuchtastic. He's going to be in the studio talking about Teuchtastic and how the event at Teuchtastic at the Teuch Community Centre, how it benefited the local community, and what he wants, what his vision is for the future. That was Runaway by the Corrs, and we have 2 special guests in the studio. We're going to be hearing from them in a moment, but first of all, we'll hear from... Yes, that was Craig David and Hidden Agenda. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to enjoy chatting to Dorothy Banks, who's the Secretary of Teuch Community Centre, Community Council, and we're going to be chatting to Peter Horn, who is the Chair of Teuch and Garvick Community Centre. Welcome to the studio. I hope you're well.
Very well, thank you.
We brought you along here today to talk about Teuchtastic. That was the mini festival that was held at the Teuch Community Centre for the people of Teuch and Garvick. How do you feel it went this year?
Went exceptionally well, actually.
Yeah.
It was really good and everybody enjoyed it, and we've had really good feedback from people about it.
Fantastic. And can I just? I'm fairly new to Teuchtastic. How long has it been going on for? Has it been going?
It's a spin-off from the Fife Alcohol Partnership Group, which was started 5 years ago, and it was a 3-year thing that was going on, and it was for alcohol, drinking alcohol, and there was 2 areas targeted. We were one of them. And on the last year and final year, they decided they would hold a sort of a fun day. And then the following year, which was last year, people had asked us so many times, are we having this again this year? Myself and 2 or 3 others decided we would have a go at it with the backing of Fife Council. And Lindsay Duffy was a great help to us, and they supplied our funds.
Right.
And we had a fund of £4,000 to work with, and we got in touch with various groups and asked them if they could come in, do demonstrations and show children and adults how to do things. Some people did it for free. Some others was their livelihood, so we had to pay them.
I see.
But we actually did it for under the £4,000 last year. And it went so well that everybody was wanting it again this year, so we thought, well, we'll have another go at it this year.
Yeah.
But brought in some extra things just so that it would be something a wee bit different from the year before.
Fantastic. So there were people who wanted to contribute to this on a voluntary basis, and that's what we're looking for. And I noticed this year, I mean, I was there at the first opening day, and I noticed that there was quite a number of children there, especially at the face painting, and I was trying to get to the front of the queue, but I couldn't. I had to interview Jim Leishman instead, but it was fantastic to see that amount of children there at the event. Are you hoping to build on that for next year?
Yes, we had face painter there, one for 3 days, one came in for 1 day, and the queues were a mile long. Mr. Puffin the Balloon Man is another one. He stands for 4 hours at a stretch, and does nothing but make these fantastic balloon shapes for the children, and they love it. that's two of the main ones that come. The rest are craft people.
Okay.
Morag comes for kickboxing.
Yeah.
She has an hour where she teaches the young ones very simple steps, but the basic steps for kickboxing. And so much so, we had two children on one of the members' doorsteps the other day asking her if it was going to go on this week. And they were quite disappointed when she told them, no, it's next year.
A long wait.
A long wait.
A very long wait. But it'll be well worth it next year, because it's going to be bigger and better next year.
Bigger and better.
We're going to be right behind Toothtastic next year at Radio West Fife, and we'll have a lot more information.
Like everything.
That was Diana Ross, and I'm still waiting. We're in the studio with Peter Horn. He's the chair of Tooth Community Council, and we've got Dorothy Banks with us, the secretary of Tooth Community Council, and we're talking about how Toothtastic came into being. And off air, we're talking about the very beginning, and it started off as an alcoholics group, and it's kind of snowballed from there and went from strength to strength. What prompted the alcoholics group way back a couple of years ago? What prompted that?
I think it was set up by Fife Council.
Right.
So we didn't know anything about it until they actually came into Tooth and asked if people would like to go along to the first meeting. There was a workshop held first of all,
right.
And from the workshop they asked us if we would like to attend any more meetings. And I went, and Jimmy Miller, another member of the Community Council, he went as well. And we went every so often, every time there was a meeting, we went all the time to these meetings. Gradually, they sort of tried to go over to people how bad alcohol was for you drinking it in great quantities.
Yeah, and we talked off air about the influence it was having with some local children and the behaviours.
That's right.
You said you'd witnessed something.
We had witnessed it at one point. We had the goggles and the beer and the goggles and the beer glasses, and they were sitting round a table, and the ladies that were doing it, one of the questions was that how did they feel that it went on in their home, and what did they see at home a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And one of the young boys just leant forward and picked up a glass and up and down all the time drinking.
Right, okay.
Which was really something to see.
Something to see, yeah. So we've moved on from that, and I noticed there was a good atmosphere in that room when I was there, and I noticed two ladies who were doing like a family tree research, and they had the whole stand there, and it was quite interesting. There've been other events over the 4 days that were held. There were other activities held. Was there a disco, I believe, on the Friday night? Yeah,
there was a disco on the Friday night for the senior children. On the Tuesday, the Wednesday and the Thursday, we had Kenny the Clown, who came and did magic tricks with the children, but also had mini disco. And we had everything, and he was doing the piccolo song, and they were all following him in and out the hall and round, in the corridor. He did the same on the next day, and then he came on Saturday, not as not Kenny the Clown, just as David the Disco Man. And all the children could go if they wanted to. And he did a 2-hour disco for the children on the Saturday as well.
Oh, that's excellent. And I'm sure everyone would have enjoyed that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Peter, I'd just like to ask you about the funding for Toothtastic this year. I mean, where did the majority of the funding come from?
The majority of the funding came from Fife Council. There was a surplus, there was money left over from the previous year, and our original grant for the previous year was 4,000. We had approximately 1,500 left over from the previous year, so the grant that the council gave us was 2,500 to bring it up to the 4. The indications were that this would be the last year that we prepared to fund us, so now we're on our own for regard to funding the event, and we're now seeking various options for funding, and we would hope that, given this sort of broadcasting at an early stage, that groups will be aware that Toothtastic will take place next year. It's our intention to have it for the 4 days again. It was very successful this year, and it's an event we'd hope to keep going as a community council for Tooth and Garvick.
Yeah, and as a local broadcaster, I would re-emphasise that a community like Tooth kind of deserves that kind of input.
Your number one, Radio West Fife.
That was Stand By Me and Benny King. And I'm still in the studio with Dory Thorthie-Banks, Secretary, and Peter Horn, Chair of Tooch and Garvick Community Council. And just speaking off here about the freeness of this event. It's absolutely free, isn't it? And next year, it will be the same. No entry fees, nothing.
Entry fees.
And what's the particular reason behind that? Is there any particular reason behind that?
Well, we felt for one-parent families, perhaps, and people who had 2 or 3 children, and children cost a lot of money, even more so in the holidays, where they want to go here, there, and every place. Yeah. And some people can't afford it. I mean, circumstances being as they are now. So we give everything for nothing. They get choice of doing whatever they want to do with it, what we have, and they don't have to pay anything. And there is certainly no entrance fee when they come to the community centre. We don't charge.
Yeah. I mean, when I arrived, I was expecting to pay £1 or something, but there's nothing at all.
Nothing.
Okay. So it was a fantastic event to be at, and it's going to be done again in 2014.
That's correct.
Well, can I just thank you both for coming along to the studio today and talking about Toothtastic. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the listeners? Is there anything that, or any funding or organisation that might be listening out there?
Well, any funding organisation, please get in touch and see if you can come and give us some help.
Yep, okay.
I think the more organisations that contribute to the event, the better the event will be. And it means less money for each of them to contribute, so it's a better idea rather than Fife Council having to pay the whole lot.
Yeah.
You've got maybe half a dozen organisations putting in a small amount.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're a local business or a local entertainer, you think you can give your services for free to Toothtastic, then get in touch with Toothtastic. And you can do that via Radio West Fife if you want to. You can email us at radiowestfife.org.uk, get in contact with us via the webpage, or you can email us at studio@radiowestfife.org.uk.
At the heart of the community, Michael Boyd on Radio West Fife.